Welcome to another exciting episode of Listen to the Heartbeat with Aaron G. Today's special guest is Angel V., a Marine Corps veteran and a scholar. Angel was in the undergraduate program at Cal State L.A. in the field of social work. He is also very active with Student Veterans of America, especially here at Mount San Antonio Community College. Welcome, Angel, to Listen to the Heartbeat.
Hey, Aaron. Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome. Tell us, what drove you to the field of social work?
Well, definitely the biggest factor that drove me was seeing my fellow brothers I served with struggling in life and them not having proper guidance on how to get out of any rut they're in. And I just felt like it was my calling seeing them suffer and not seeing enough veterans helping out veterans in this field, because civilians really don't understand the trials and tribulations we go through in life after we leave the service.
So tell us about, as a Marine, you had some experience. Tell us about some of those experiences that continue to motivate you to want to serve the veteran community.
Motivating experiences? I'll just say the thing that motivates me is it's simple, just helping out our brothers and sisters, making sure they're getting the resources they need to help them out. For instance, if they're homeless, getting them housed. If they're struggling with food, helping them get groceries or food stamps, because I know a lot of veterans are hesitant to ask for help. I'm sure you know this as a veteran yourself. And it's just pretty much trying to get them to buy into these resources that they may be hesitant to go to.
Tell us about transitioning from the Marine Corps into civilian life. How was that on you?
It was tough, you know? I mean, I was in for 6 years, and you spend every day with the same group of guys for 2 years minimum, you know, doing everything with them, eating, going to work, going out to have fun, living with them in the same building. And it's tough because you feel like you lose a piece of yourself when you get out. You feel like you have no one to talk to, no one to turn to, because all your friends, split up, go different ways, East Coast, Northwest, and you lose that foundation of support from your brothers. And that's definitely the biggest thing I had when I got out, because it's the classic veteran saying that civilians don't understand how it is. That's pretty much how I was. So I found it difficult, but coming to school definitely helped me out a lot, hanging out with other veterans. And I came to Mount Sac when I started, and meeting other veterans in the VRC definitely helped, because we all had the same goals, same plans. We wanted to reconnect, and we helped each other transition into civilian life.
So I bear witness that statement to one degree is so true, because when I moved to Pomona, I'm from LA, but I was released. I used to live in Northern California, and I didn't know that practically everywhere I go, somebody, Department of Defense, somebody notified these people that, hey, this guy here. And I didn't know that. And one day I was looking into my rearview mirror. I was dropping my daughter off. She was in elementary school. And I see a detail, like 2 squads of police cars and motorcycles. Right? And I'm like, okay, they following me. And I know they following me. I ain't paranoid. I ain't tripping. When I got to my daughter's school and she got out, then the police motorcycle approached me, and he was nervous. I'm like, whoa, I'm a black man. That syndrome, right?
Yeah.
I said, excuse me, sir, why are you nervous? I said, would you like my ID and my registration? And he looked at me wide-eyed. So my automatic expression was, this dude, I got a squad of people following me and they loaded. But he wasn't. He said, can you follow me to the DMV? I say, for what? He said, we've been following you for 2 miles. And the reason is so many of us, we never experienced, your license plate don't show up in the system. I said, oh, I get that every now and then.
Well, why didn't it show up?
Because I got a special set of skills. And sometimes I believe they just want to keep these people away from me. And that's all I said to him. I say, so if it didn't show up, somebody trying to tell you something, right? Because I don't have the power to do that. So I understand. And then I remember I had blocked out an experience I had in 1983 in Lebanon. I was part of a group of people. I was in the Army. And they sent us from Gießen, Germany. I was part of a detachment. And they said they had 2 targets who happened to be in Lebanon. And one target was the Marine Corps barracks. The other target was the French embassy, and they was planning to do it simultaneously. We was on scene. And I never shall forget, request permission to engage, and they said abort, abort, abort. And even as I'm talking to you right now, I still feel like I should have popped that head because I watched so many people die. I identify with hanging out with my brother Marines few days prior, and then 200 of them is just gone. Like that, I still kind of feel it. It took me a while to, actually it took 30 years. I had buried it deep, 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 deep down. But several years ago, I told my wife and daughter, I say, y'all need to go. Because something going on and I don't know what it was. I was having an episode. Yeah. And then God revealed it to me. It's time to start healing. So thank you for considering the field of social work. Because I remember last year, at the beginning of last year, the home we had, it became an environmental hazard.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to you and you would say, are you interested? Do you know about VPN? I was like, yeah. And then you gave me a resource. I reached out to that resource and they were about to get us in a new complex.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm 100% veteran. And that particular complex was specifically designed for veterans that we go find.
Yeah.
Right? And shortly afterwards, a brother told me, hey, you need to come to this man's meeting. Don't miss it. And we're still staying in hotels, right? And I didn't miss it. And it was a resort community. And when I walked in the door, I just say, God, come on, man. The way you work in my life, are you showing me where you're about to bring me?
Mm-hmm.
3 months later, been there ever since.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. I love to hear that. And where's that at? What city?
It's in Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, that's close to me.
It's called Homecoming at Terra Vista.
I know exactly where that's at.
Right?
I used to live near there.
And so the beauty is the spark started when I seen you in the vet center and you said, here go my details.
Mm-hmm.
Hit me up. It was like you was like a candle. You just lit up, right? This is what I like doing. And you gave me the resource and it was all about the footwork.
Yeah, sometimes, sorry for cutting you off.
Go ahead.
Sometimes that's all we need. We just need someone to plant the seed in your head, give you the idea. Because I don't even know that's something you ever thought of before that, looking for housing resources. So if I did that, I really appreciate it that you followed up on it.
No, thank you. Yes, I used to have. So the challenge was me being married and having a dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a list, because I still volunteer at Patriotic Hall, L.A., and reach out to veterans because Patriotic Hall has we have the largest veteran housing across the country. And I love talking to vets on the phone. And man, it's counselors, different states. They call me, Aaron, got a vet. And we don't know how, to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy that as well. I just do it volunteer work. It's almost like my me giving back to my comrades. And there's I'll go visit him a lot. It's an old veteran, old Marine Corps veteran up at Loma Linda. And I like going to visit him, knock on his door. I say, what's up, soldier? He said, you ain't got to tell me you Army. I'm a Marine. And I say, come on, Mr. So-and-so, let's go for a stroll around the facility, right? And so I identify with the camaraderie. Back to transitioning from being a Marine for 6 years, losing the camaraderie. Tell us about those challenges and how you overcame them.
Okay. Well, like I previously said, the other veteran students, that was huge for me because you feel that camaraderie again. It's not the same, but because I mean, y'all aren't in, but you still feel it. And also, my family and my friends definitely, I was lucky enough to have understanding support around me when it came to my family and friends because they knew it was a difficult time for me. I would often lock myself in my room. At first, they didn't understand why I was being so distant, but they gave me my space. And then after that, they would try to understand why I am this way and the things I went through. So those are the two main things that helped me transition, and just finding hobbies I love to do. I never golfed until I got out. Didn't think I would like it, but that's something I do now, like every other week, just to get outdoors and have a good time with the boys.
So, what was your MOS?
I was a 2841, a radio technician. So I would repair radios and amplifiers for the radios, just the whole radio system itself. I would maintain it, repair it if it needed fixing.
So, tell us about that responsibility you felt. You know, you're preparing a radio for those that are getting ready to go out. How did that cross your mind? Even if it crossed your mind, was it pressure?
When I first joined, I didn't think anything of it until I went on my first field op. And guess what? When they went out on a patrol during the field op, the radio went down because something was wrong with it. We didn't check it properly. And then it was after that, and we got, I wouldn't say a lecture, but we were given a lesson from one of our staff sergeants explaining the importance of making sure these radios are good to go. Because if that would have happened out in country, that could have cost lives potentially. And it was after that I understood like the magnitude of this job, even though it's not glorified like other jobs in the movies. That's when I truly understood the significance of making sure communication equipment was good to go, because it could go out and be used by a unit in Afghanistan or Iraq at any time.
And you just bringing that up, it reminds me. So, one of my responsibility in Europe, we used to protect NATO sites, and even to the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you call me, like Victor did the other day, he butt called me, and I called him back, and it was important for him to call me back because those of us that's been in the field, look, I've been out the Army since 1983, but when I was driving home, I seen his number, right, show up, right, Victor Sierra, right. Hey, I pulled over. Then the phone went off. I couldn't even answer it. And I went in another lane. Deployment plan two, had communication and loss. I was about to turn around. Then he called me back. He said, look, I just want to call you back, man. Everything good. So every job, every skill, all of it matter. Right? And one of the most beautiful things of my experience is that that's why I started this podcast. Because everybody matters to me. Everybody mattered. When I took that oath, I signed a blank check that even included my life, right? And I still live by that. Everybody matter. And I don't like too much. That's not script nothing. But today we did. Just kind of, because we both was like, we're going to talk about, I don't know, right? So that we could get started, because the reality is, what matters to me is the camaraderie that we get to build. That really matters, man. Not just on campus, but when we out. It really, really matters to me. Tell us how your experience was here did you attend Mount San Antonio Community College?
Yeah, I came here for my first 2 years before I transferred to Cal State L.A. and it was a good experience. I'll be honest, I didn't interact with too many civilian population students. It was mostly veterans that I interacted with, but I don't see a problem with that personally. But it was good. I'll be Most of my classes were more difficult here than at university, if I'm being honest.
What?
Yeah, but and I liked it too because it's close to home for me. It's only 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Is it more challenging because here there's more hands-on than there, or explain that? Is it more research there than here? Explain that.
I would say I feel like because maybe professor jobs are more competitive here because I'm sure you know they're better paying usually, and because like you're on a set program at the university, some professors might just be skating, coasting through, just going through the motions, especially if they're tenured. I mean, if they're tenured, how do you really know how much they care about teaching the next generation of students?
Gotcha. So being Mount Sac, being more hands-on, more you can do it. Don't stop, right? We here or we not.
Yeah, they definitely motivate you more here, the professors, for sure. I'll say that much. I agree with you on that.
Good, good. So thank you for that lesson. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Not at this moment.
How long you been out the Marine Corps?
I've been out for 6 years. This year, oh no, 5 years this year.
He was in for 6, and he almost got 6 on the outside.
Yeah, I turned 30 this year.
What? Congratulations. So when
Thank
did you
you.
go in?
2013, 3 months after I graduated high school.
He sound like me. He was trying to get away from the family, the hood, and everybody.
Yeah, that's part of it. But the biggest reason was because of my uncle. He was a Marine as well, and he was infantry. That's what I wanted to do, but I got talked out of it by him because he told me about some of the stuff he saw, and I was like, I get it. You're in Fallujah, all that stuff. So ultimately, he's the reason I joined, and he's the reason I didn't do what he did.
Good for him. Good for him. Yeah, because that's another level of mental health trips, right? And I laugh at it now when I look back. But some of the things that are done, my mom said when I got back, she said, you know you qualify for money, right? No, I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, I challenge you to go see a doctor just one time. And I challenge you, don't try to make nothing up. Well, that was my ominous warning that mom knew I was different, right? And yeah, it's a different trip. But back to some of the things that I did, you had to be mentally like on the other side of the park, right?
Yeah, you had to compartmentalize it.
Ain't no compartmentalizing. So my brain said when we had to go on assignments, man, my brain had flipped to, okay, it's time to balance nature. It's time to balance nature. That's fucked up. When I get back and I get to talking to therapists, I say, oh yeah, so what label is that? And so what I came to the conclusion, I can't say that on here. I almost blew it. But I come to the conclusion of how some of us get mental illnesses.
So if I could go back a little bit, what do you mean by balanced nature?
When we got orders, they had to go.
Okay.
So when we reached them, they had to go. So some of us, we came up with a saying, well, Lord, we can't forgive them, but we about to send them to you and see what you do with them. And to have that kind of mindset, that's a mental illness.
That's funny that you say that, 'cause my uncle kind of had that same mindset. He always would tell me that when they'd go out on patrols, they would feel like they'd have to feel like they're superheroes, or else they won't be able to get the job done.
It's not the job, it's coming back. So we was trained to come back.
Okay.
We was trained to come back. We wasn't trained for a failed mission. Period. We wasn't trained for a failed mission, and we wasn't trained to leave each other. that's when we would disobey an order. Me leaving you, it ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
It just ain't happening. You the closest thing on earth to me. It ain't happening. So whoever gets in our way of getting back, I can't forgive them, but I know who can. And I'm about to arrange that appointment. And so I understand that part where we really only have, when we are talking about things like that, I could sit with your uncle and we'd probably just, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Because who else do you have to talk?
No one else.
Can't tell a therapist, right? Because she gonna go tell on you, right? Just for you sharing your real fucking experience, right? And so I love this thing, though. I love the title of this podcast came Listen to the Heartbeat, where I was staying at a hotel and I guess blacks wasn't supposed to stay there, and just so happened they cleaned the room and they seen there was blacks there, and next thing I know, SWAT came. And I had told my wife, I said, here, I took everything out my pocket. See, where you going? What you doing? You tripping? I said, you didn't hear the police out there? They was like creeping all. She was like, I ain't hear nothing. Then the phone rang. Hey, Mr. Garding, hey, it's the manager. Is it possible you can come up? Your card don't work. I looked at my wife. I said, that's the police, right? I guess it's too bright around here, right? And of course, when I went out, before I got to the end of the wall, I said, y'all can come out now. And what I noticed is the assault rifles was pointed down, and I immediately picked up on it. I said, oh, y'all ran my name, huh? I said, why y'all ain't pointing your weapons at me? I mentioned the color of my skin and the color of their skin. I say, somebody must have told y'all don't point your weapon at me. And the two rookies that was close to me, they say they did. Why? I say, because probably if I wasn't too mentally stable, you guys would be in trouble. He was like, huh? What's the pen and paper for? I say, I was just thinking about doing a podcast. I say, and I just got the name of the title. Listen to the Heartbeat. I say, now I'm going to sit down now. Do you mind? And I sat down and I started writing, Listen to the Heartbeat. I wasn't nervous. I didn't feel like I was in danger. And I de-escalated the situation. Pulled out my key to the room. I said, I guess you're looking for weapons or something like that, huh? I get that a lot. I'm this color, so. And they checked and they told the people, false flag, false flag, false flag. All right. I didn't get nervous. I didn't feel threatened. And then I came up with the title, Listen to the Heartbeat. It was like I was meditating. Listen to the heartbeat. They asked me a real serious question, and I looked at them. I said, the reason they said that, and the guy, the senior officer, he said, come here, let me show you. On their thing in the car, their computer, it said, notify all agencies. That's what it said.
For you? What the heck?
It said, notify all agencies. And so I get that a lot. I've been getting that for almost 30 years, 40 years.
Well, that's a crazy way to think of a name of a podcast.
Right? But what it was is like right now, I was just relaxed. Right? I had never felt that. And I literally could hear my heartbeat. And it was the boom, 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 boom. Not like it used to be. Police stopped you, boom, 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 boom. And I say, that's the title. And so everybody, you included, just sitting down having a discussion could propel other discussions. It could be that man or woman who's down on their leg and we're providing them the support. Some just want attention. Whatever it is, we're providing them that. We're giving them a sense of direction like you did for me. Hey, listen, you're going to have to go over to Covina or the places over there. You're going to have to reach out to such and such. And I reached out to all of them. I went to all them places and I needed all that for my mental health. It was like God was testing to see how far are you willing to go?
Mm-hmm.
How far are you willing to go? Oh, I'm willing to go the whole distance. And then I got a call. Hey, listen, there's a men's meeting. It happens every year. You must be there. I told my wife I got to go home. I said, I got to at least get a couple hours of sleep. Why? I said, I got to go to this meeting. And man, it's the place so beautiful, right? What's even more beautiful? I didn't have the money. I had $1,400. And I called Military Veteran Affairs, and the lady said, Mr. Gaulden, hold on a minute. And I was on hold for like 10 minutes. She would come back every now and then and say, can you please hold? I'm talking to somebody right now on your behalf. When she came back, she said, call them and ask them what to do with that $1,400 you got. Because I told her, I said, look, this is my last $1,400. That 50 grand I had that I was planning long down the road, spending 1,000 or so a week. I said, I'm at the last. I said, once it's gone, I promise you, I'm going to do what I know how to do to keep my wife and my daughter from being on the street. She said, hold on. She called in people. When she got back to me, she said, oh, go over there and sign the lease. 2 months after being there, some of the staff said to me, hey, listen, we don't know what kind of assistance this is, but we know we got a call from Military Veteran Affairs, and these people set a precedent for you. What we had to go through to get you here, we ain't never did it. Lady said, I've been here 20 years. Ain't never seen it happen before. So I say, Lord, thank you. All right? I'll be a servant. That's why you'll see me everywhere. Let me serve you, Lord, because I already know. I remember when I was in prison, 2001. No, 2001. I was in San Quentin State Prison. I said, Lord, look, if you're going to let me out of here, I promise you I can do one thing. I'm going to let my light shine. I promise you that. I can't promise you everything else. I might not promise you that I could deal with every flashback that's going to come, right? Every loss, I can't promise you that. But I promise you I'll let my light shine. And I've done a good job since then. And I continue. See, you all matters to me. Everybody I come in contact with are lessons and blessings for me.
Mm-hmm. Dang, that's some powerful stuff, Aaron. I appreciate you sharing that, man.
You're welcome. Any last words? Talk to the veterans that might hear this.
Well, for veterans, I'll just say, never give up hope. There's always someone you can call if you're going through dark times. Because I've been there before. I've had friends go through it. Just never give up. There will always be someone there to have your six. So keep on trucking, stay motivated, and that's really it.
That was Angel V. You heard it here on Listen to the Heartbeat with Aaron G. Peace out, everyone. Peace out.